Hello, and welcome back to the third devlog for Project Triangle. As you can see, I've started to make a main menu and started to pull the game together so we can actually play it. So let's go check out what we've done. So let's start off by talking about the elephant in the room. We now have a main menu. We've connected the racing part of the game and the track creating part of the game together, so we can now kind of have like something that feels a bit more like a game. And I took a whole day to kind of design the tweening into the main menu itself. So we kind of had this like little bouncy effect and kind of scaling effect to the elements, so it doesn't feel, it feels less staticky and kind of more like it's actually part of the game, and a bit more juiciness to the game. And obviously this isn't the final thing. I want to change these images later, and maybe add some kind of like panning background just to kind of make it feel a bit less, you know, staticky and more kind of actually like there's kind of some motion to it, and that'd be really good. I'm really happy with the way this has turned out so far. So the way I have this set up to tween at the moment is I just simply set everything's scale to 0, and then over time I set its scale back to 1, and then I change the ease of the scaling process by giving it kind of like this little bounce effect that you get on like the titles, and that just kind of gives it a bit more kind of like juiciness. So after working on the main menu, I then had to go through and change the actual shape of the track itself. The car was a bit wider than I thought it would be. So I then had to go through and change the width of the track shape itself, which didn't take too long, but then I had to go and adjust like the actual grid for when you actually place the track down. But now it kind of feels nice to be able to like drift around the corners and move around with, and then there's plenty of space too for when we get multiple cars in, they'll be able to overtake each other without having to like really bump into each other and kind of feeling claustrophobic. The final thing I did this week really revolves around the actual track creating part of the game itself. So firstly, we have these locked nodes which are demonstrated in this kind of darker color. Which basically means I can't pick them up and I can't destroy them, which means that this is always going to be the starting area for the racing itself. So that's kind of a really crucial bit to really have, is to actually have the starting area. And then the second thing, as you can see from the bottom here, is we can actually save and load levels. Currently it only kind of supports a single map, but if I kind of just quickly throw together some kind of different map, set to loop and I save it, then when I pop back into the racing part of the game, you can actually see that this is the track that we just created right now. So currently it only supports being able to save a single track, but hopefully by the end of next week I'm going to make it so that we can save as many tracks as we want and load different tracks at once. So you'll be able to kind of like share with your friends and kind of pick and choose which racetrack you want to really drive around. So you may have noticed earlier this little itch icon in the top right of the actual game itself. And this is because the game is kind of available for kind of an alpha state on itch itself to download and play. So a link to this itch page will be down below in the description. Simply click it and then you can go and just click the download button. It'll download the game, extract the files, and just run the executable, and you'll be able to go through and play the game. I just need to currently add in the control schemes, which is going to be here. The controls at the moment are kind of a bit of a hit and miss. You can kind of use the controller as well as the keyboard, but you can't currently access the UI elements through the controller. I tried to set up a virtual mouse earlier in the week. It just didn't seem to work with my custom cursor that I made. So that's kind of something I need to go and fix later. But all the controls will be here for you to be able to see and kind of follow through and be able to play the game. But I really recommend that you actually play the driving part of the game with the controller itself. It just feels so much better. So if we just currently look at the files, you can see here this is the executable to click, and then this above it is the actual map that you load for the track itself. Which means you can technically send this to your friends and then put it in the same place, and they'll be able to actually play your track itself. But I'd probably recommend you just wait for a couple of weeks until I've actually set it up so that we can load multiple maps at once. So looking ahead for the future, I think we're about halfway through this project so far. I think we made some good headway. I kind of want to make it so that we can load in and save multiple map files at once. It'll be very good, be a good thing to get done by next week, as well as maybe put some kind of localization into the main menu itself in the game, that we can kind of distribute it to different languages. I think that'd be a very good thing to get done. If you have any feedback so far about the game, don't be shy to go and drop it down in the comment section down below. Also, if you've enjoyed watching this devlog, don't forget to hit that like button as well as subscribe. But with that, I'll catch you next week.